Hello Virgo and welcome to 2019. Virgo, what a year it is going to be for you in love. This is a general tarot forecast for 2019, but I have gone ahead and done some research for you on the astrology themes and happenings that's going to be going on in the skies for you, so we can tie it all in together. And as I said, it's going to be a big focus on love for you this year. Virgo, we start off the year with some pretty heavy eclipses. So unless you've been living under a rock, then you'd know that there's quite a lot going on in the sky, particularly if you watch tarot online and you're into astrology. In case you have missed it, we are entering into a massive time of focus on Capricorn, okay? 2019, 2020, there's going to be huge focus on Capricorn. Capricorn obviously is a sister sign for you, so it's going to pour positive energy into you. But for you, the big thing to note is the focus for this year is going to be on your house of love, your sense of security. It's a year of building something new, something meaningful, something that's going to last. And that doesn't have to just be in terms of romantic love, that's in family, a whole range of different things. But we start off January with a new moon, partial solar eclipse in the sign of Capricorn. Now, as I said, this for you is going to be focused on a lot to do with your sense of security and worthwhile. So it's going to ask you to look at your self-expression. It's going to be in your house of true love. It's going to be all about romance, a lot to do with self-confidence as well. So if you've been doing the inner work, Virgo, and last year was a bit of a challenging year for you, if you've been doing the inner work, then you're really going to reap the rewards this year, okay? And I see a little bit of it in the cards as we come through. It's that little bit of lingering self-doubt that's still there. But the second half of the year is where it really booms for you. I guess the big advice for you here is eclipses are things that they bring up things that are final. So whatever you start under an eclipse, it will have lasting power, particularly this one coming up in January, and then we have another coming up at the Cancer eclipse in July. And same with the reverse. When we end things under a full moon and an eclipse, it's final. The door shuts, that's it. There's no going back. It's not this, maybe that door will open up for me again at another point. It's literally the door's closed and we move on. So bear that in mind and be careful not to suppress your emotions. I think the big thing for you this year is really standing up for your self-worth, standing up for who you are and what you want to be in this world, and in doing that you raise your vibration. And what do you attract back? True love. So as I mentioned, we've got that eclipse in Capricorn, that partial solar eclipse on the 5th of January, or the 6th if you're in Australia. And then on the 21st of January we have a full moon total lunar eclipse in the sign of Leo. So this is a bit interesting because for the past couple of years we've had the North Node and the South Node in Leo. What does that mean? It's been a focus on personal karma, unfinished business, a higher calling. So, asking you what your sense of service is to the world. What do you really want to do? What do you want your legacy to be? So these have kind of been the undercurrents or the thoughts that have been going through your head. The North Node's now shifted into the sign of Cancer. So Cancer and the South Node is in Capricorn. And Cancer and Capricorn are like the mother and father of the zodiac, yeah? Cancer's all about nurture and loving energy, and its base is relationships, right? Whereas Capricorn's all about status and achievement. It's like the father of the zodiac. What does this mean for you? Why am I telling you this? Well, the whole point is that the Cancer North Node is in your house of money, of goals, friendships, sudden luck, good fortune, doors opening. And it's going to be like this for you all year, which is freaking awesome. Not only have you got to focus on true love in your romance sector, but then you also have this focus on, your area of money, growth and abundance. Okay, so it's going to be a really big year for you. Jupiter is in Sagittarius, which is its home sign, and basically what that means for you in relation to your sign is it's a great year to buy property. or start a home-based business or grow a home-based business, or anything to do with something where you can build a foundation. Remember I said that the whole point of this year is about a sense of security, making something that'll last long term, something to do with your legacy. It's those kind of putting down roots feeling or vibe. But the partial eclipse in Capricorn is going to be focused on true romance, love, self-expression, what you're putting out into the world. At the end of January, on the 21st, we have an eclipse in Leo. And I told you already that's a full moon total lunar eclipse. So this is to do with karma, something that needs to be completed. If there's anything from your past that you haven't yet closed the door on, or you still kind of like have attachments or lingering to tidbits, bits and pieces, people, then this is the invitation to close that. And it's probably not even an invitation, like it's like the universe is going to come through and go, bam, closed, you're done. Okay, so it's going to be an interesting watch and see and how that plays out for a few of you, but it's that last little bit of the Leo eclipse that's coming at the end of January. There's a whole range of different transits, eclipse, conjunctions that's going on through the year and retrogrades, but it's important to note that from now until March 6, all of the planets are direct. So this is the very best time if you've wanted to launch something, to publish, to write a book. Let's say you're an artist and you want to put some art out there. Maybe it's you want to do something on Instagram, whatever it may be, this is a perfect time for you to do it. Anything that brings you passion and joy because you have that focus when it comes to, this year, that focus on love, on true romance, on happiness, anything that kind of is an expression or an extension of yourself, you'll see do really well. Saturn's going to be there asking you to build a foundation from it though. So it's not something short-term or tangible. This is not some quick, get rich quick scheme, try and say that fast. It's something that's, going to be solid, something concrete, okay? And that ties in perfectly with you, Virgo, because you are an earth sign. You do like to have perfectionism, but you also like to be very stable. As you get to July, and I'm just going to point this out quickly and then we'll get straight into the tarot, we do have 2 more eclipses, okay? So this is really important month to note, and I'm just looking at what comes up for you in July, so we'll talk about that soon. But you've got the new moon total solar eclipse in the sign of Cancer. And as I said to you before, Cancer is like focused on how we nurture ourselves. But for you, this is in the area of money, goals, friendships, doors opening, sudden luck, sudden windfalls. It's just things that are going to align for you, okay? So I feel like when you come to July, you're going to have some sort of windfall. Something's going to come together that's going to help you. Sudden luck is the best way I can say it, okay? So look out for that in July and the beginning of the month. But equally, at the end of July, well, midway through, on the 16th, you have a full moon partial lunar eclipse in the sign of Capricorn, back to your house of true love, romance. And it could very well be the month that you decide to propose to someone. Even if you're just newly single, it could just be that you're just like, yep, this person is my person and it all seems to align and I'm going to go for it. And you do have the potential for that in your reading here, Virgo. So, it'll be interesting again to see how that plays out for you. But my goodness, what a year. Sudden luck, money, love. What more could you want, right? Just the only thing I'll say to you is be careful of your communication, because Mercury will go retrograde in that month of July. So it's going to be 1 minute you're like up, the next minute you're down. So it's going to kind of be like this yo-yo for you all month. And we're talking high highs and a couple of low lows. So just bear that in mind. Yeah, that's pretty much it from the astrology point of view. I just made another note here when I was meditating that if you're willing to make changes, then the universe is going to support you, okay? Just that reminder of be careful not to suppress your emotions. It's all about expressing how you feel. Self-expression is really important. Okay, so let's talk about the tarot. My goodness. I've laid out 12 cards, one for each month. So we have January through to December, and then we have January through to June, July through to December. And I've got kind of 2 trump cards here that's giving me an indication of your energy as you're going through these time periods. So we'll start with the first 6 months. These cards that I'm using are not traditional tarot. It's a beautiful deck called Dreams of Gaia Tarot. And some of the cards aren't like major arcana. They have their own different meanings. I typically only use these cards for twin flame readings and like deeply spiritual readings, because they have like in the book, the guidebook, there's like 4 or 5 pages of description. So they're quite in depth, but I felt compelled to use them for these yearly readings. But in order to make it a little bit easier to digest, I am going to use qualifying cards with the Rider-Waite Tarot. So you guys, if you watch a little bit on YouTube, you would have seen this deck a fair bit. All right, so let's get into it. I'm going to ask for a qualifying card in each of these decks, and then we'll get into the months, month by month. Thank you, Spirit. Can I please have a card on January through to June? One card for each month, starting with January on the card of Self. It's too many, and that's my poor shuffling. It's not an energy thing. One card, please. So many messages that want to come through. It's like, my goodness, love, romance, money, engagement. What a freaking year, Virgo. There we go. Thank you. One on February, please. 2 of Swords. There it is. March. Just one card, please, for March. Wow. Definitely a big year for you, Virgo. All good stuff I'm seeing so far. All going in your favor. One card, thank you. Interesting. So far, you've been the hardest sign to shuffle for. It's like, and whenever the cards are like this, it just means there's so much going on for my Virgo. So I don't normally say this midway through a reading, but if you do want to get a personal reading with me, the details are below, okay? Because I can see there's a lot of messages coming through, and like I can't almost keep up with them. One more, please, in June. Thank you. Yeah. Okay, so you've got a repeating message there straight away. So I was talking about Jupiter in Sagittarius, right? At some point, I know I mentioned that. Jupiter in Sagittarius for you is focused very much on, where are my notes? Buying property, home-based business, that kind of thing. And you start off with the card of Sagittarius in January. So even though this says Self, in traditional tarot, this is the card of Temperance, okay? And you actually have it as a repeating message as you head into the middle of the year in June. So they're the same card. I don't know if you can see that. So what's interesting is the message here as you're in January, as you're coming through these eclipses, is really about starting something new. It's about, as I said to you before, building a foundation that's going to last. Some of you could have just started new jobs, or you could be starting a new job, maybe starting a new avenue of your business, building out a different arm, because that's what this card's showing me as well. It's kind of like the messenger, or it's like someone coming in. It's showing me creative self-expression, but this is like going within to find the core of who you are and what you want to do, and then actually using that energy to start something new. So as I said, I feel like some of you are starting a brand new job. It could even be completely new direction in terms of your career, so different industries. For others of you, it's a business expansion, so a home-based business that you're expanding, or maybe you're just starting a home-based business. Whatever it is, some of you may have even returned to the workforce after being pregnant, and some of you may be retired and you've just started a project. Whatever it is for your stage of life, it's going to be something that's going to really fulfill you. Emotionally, mentally, the whole shebang, right? It's really going to bring you a lot of joy. As you get into February, you have the Two of Swords coupled with Justice. So this is just after the Leo eclipse. And you remember what I said, if there's something that you haven't finalized or closed from your past, it's going to come up. So towards the end of January, as you're going into February, and it may not happen exactly on the 21st, it could be, you know, eclipses have their, or moons have their power before they wane and wax 2 weeks after the event. So, you know, at a full moon with things completing, it's 2 weeks after, so it could flow into February. But you have the Two of Swords coupled with Justice. So I feel like maybe it's a legal thing, like you're needing to make a decision or choice about something from your past in terms of money, closing out something. For some of you, it could be that you separated from a partner and you need to close out bank accounts, debts, things that you had, joint finances, whatever it may be. Because I really see it's about closing something about karma for you, okay, something that needs to be completed, and this is it coming up for you in February. It could also mean that a Libra is quite prevalent in your life, or this is just a card that represents legal teams or lawyers, but I really feel it's like, you know, you couldn't get a clearer card about black and white, your future, your past and your future, and where you're going. And this is pretty much that trump card saying, okay, the time is now, you need to make that choice. Because whatever it is, it's going to hold you back if you don't make the choice. And I don't even think you have an option. It's like the universe is saying you need to make that choice and you need to do it now. What's cool is that March kind of shows me that you do make that choice and then you're already rebuilding anew. So you have the card of death, of Scorpio transformation, coupled with the Three of Earth, so the Three of Coin. This speaks about building a new foundation, teamwork, collaboration. So I feel like whatever it is in February that you need to tie up that loose end or let go of, it's like as soon as you do that, then you get into March and you're starting to build you know, the new little seedlings. Can you see that? I mean, the acorns with the squirrel, which is pretty cute, but it's like building that new foundation, starting something new with a team. Maybe it's the expansion of the business that I mentioned to you before. Maybe it's a project or something that you're working on, but it's something that's really going to transform you. And as I said to you in the beginning, when we're talking about the astrology and the alignments of the planets, it really is a time for you, the first 3 months, about building something new. It's the very best time because all of the planets are direct. So for the rest of the year, you're going to have stuff going retrograde. You're going to have hiccups. It's not going to be a smooth sailing. This is the best time to launch something new. And I see you doing that, Virgo. April looks really interesting. You have the card of the High Priestess, or in this deck, the Maiden, coupled with the Queen of Wands. So Aries, Leo, Sagittarius. That could be, someone could be quite prevalent in your life, or this could just be talking about you really focused on your creativity, on using your intuition to grow something, okay? The High Priestess is major arcana. It speaks about intuition, inner knowing. It could be a woman that's quite prevalent in your life. It could be someone that you're attracted to, Virgo. For the single Virgos out there, whether it's male or female is irrelevant. You guys will know if you follow my channel, gender is fluid, so don't get too attached to it. I'm just calling it female because there's a female depicted on the card. But this could be someone that's quite spiritual, someone that you've had your eye on for a little while, someone that's also passionate, fiery, someone that could feel a little bit out of your reach, Virgo. But the truth is they're not. It could also be a Capricorn because you have the Capricorn card coming up next. But the truth is that they're not, okay? It's just all about you being open. Remember what I said before, don't suppress your emotions. If you feel something, then you need to say it at the time, like speak up, say how you feel. If you are willing to make the changes, then the universe is going to give you everything that you desire. Be very careful about what you think and your words, because you will manifest very strongly this year, and what you put out into the universe you'll draw back. And with such a heavy focus from an astrology point of view in your house of true love, you only want to be putting out the good vibes, right? Send out the good stuff, send out all the love, because you're going to draw it back to you. April for me is really a month about you speaking up for yourself, like finding that intuition, speak up for yourself, being empowered in your being. If you aren't single, if you're coupled, it's really about, like I was saying, you standing up for yourself, finding that sense of security, having that self-confidence so you can start building. May is interesting. You have a progression from the Maiden to the Youth, which is the third card of the major arcana. It's called the Youth in this deck. And it's coupled with the Devil, so sign of Capricorn. This is why I was saying it could be a Capricorn that you have your eye on for the singles out there. And I'm talking about signs in this reading in particular because it is so heavily focused on love for you, Virgo. In the other general readings, go watch them if you know your rising sign. I talk about them more on a general basis, but since you have such a heavy focus on love, I am going to call out the signs. So May for you is really a month about, like I said, beginning to plant the foundation for something new, but kind of taking it that one step further and actually freeing yourself from the shackles of your past. The devil by itself, when it doesn't represent the sign of Capricorn, speaks about addictions, okay? Things that could hold us back, anything that kind of makes us feel a little bit chained. It could be alcohol addictions, it could be a food addiction, could be shopping addiction. I mean, there's many different ways to read this card, but I'm seeing it like that because it's, for me, it's almost like a transformation, okay? If you have a look quite clearly, it's a very, very different energy when you see the two side by side. It's on the one hand, you've got illumination and it's light. And on this hand, I feel like it's almost a bit of stagnant energy, right? It's almost like kind of stepping away from your past and then stepping into kind of like the new horizon, okay? It's really quite beautiful. It's almost like, even if it wasn't, okay, your addiction could be attracting emotionally unavailable men, for example, and now you're letting that go. Or even for the men watching, it could be that you've attracted previously women that just weren't giving you their all, and now you're like, no, I'm going to draw in what's right for me. And I see that happening because as we get to June, you have the card of Temperance again, Sagittarius, another great month in terms of money, goals, bits and pieces coming to you, good luck, fortune, that kind of thing. But you also have the Five of Coin. So the Five of Coin can speak about lack or loss or not feeling like you have enough money. So it's an interesting kind of split to get these two cards together. It's like that polarity again, right? On the one hand, this could be how you felt in the past. And if you look very carefully, it's exactly what I was saying to you before. It's like, what do you see? You know, I see the repeating theme here of your past, of maybe feeling a little bit restrained, of being financially restrained, of not having enough. And then you come into this phase of your future, of illumination, you know, being comfortable in your own skin, speaking up for your self-worth, telling people how you feel, even when it's uncomfortable, having those conversations, the good and the bad, so that you can actually be honest and true for yourself and you're living your most authentic life. And look at that, look at the difference between the two. This is someone who's radiating, who's got joy, who's happy, you know, who's on their right path, who's living in divinity. And this is someone who's feeling restricted, restrained, unfulfilled, okay? So it's really cool. It's kind of like I'm seeing that progression for you, Virgo. And, you know, there's still that little bit of learning to do in the beginning of the year. As I said, the first 3 months, you've got all of the planets going direct. Then when you hit March, you've got retrograde Mercury, and then you've got a few little bumps in the road until you get to July, and then things start to change again. And that's where I see the shift come in for you. Your overall energy for the month of... the first half of the year, my apologies, is the Four of Swords. So this to me is a little bit of healing energy. Perhaps some of you ended a few things in 2018 that you weren't quite ready for. It could have been abrupt endings from an emotional standpoint. You know, when we have such a focus from an astrology point of view in our house of true love, of romance, of deep committed love, that kind of thing, often sometimes that means that we have to disconnect from people that we weren't meant to be with. And that's never easy. So 2018 could have been a year for you where you were actually making a few endings and walking away from people, situations. And if it wasn't people or from a romantic standpoint, it could have been, you know, in terms of work, so that you could prepare yourself to do what needs to happen this year. So the Four of Swords speaks to me about healing. The illustration in this card's really cool. It kind of gives a little science, geeky approach to it. But I feel like for you, Virgo, that's exactly where it's at. It's like that inner healing that you need to do, that last little bit that you needed to clear. Remember I said Leo was all about karma. It's 8 is the number of karma. It's the karmic sign. And you're closing that door. You're letting go of these last little bits and pieces so that you can step into your own. And that's pretty cool, I think. And that last little Leo eclipse before you hit like the true Cancer nurturing one in new moon in July, it's that last little bit that you need to let go of. And I feel like it's something legal to do with money. Okay, so let's get some more cards for the rest of the year, because this is the exciting part I just want to tell you about. I don't have Virgo. I don't have like much focus on Virgo in my chart, but I am a Capricorn sun, so you know, you're a sister sign to me. So some of this stuff kind of crosses over, but I've got enough going on with Capricorn in my sign. Additional guidance, please. Can I have one card on each month, July through to December? Thank you, Spirit. Starting with July, just one card. Eddie. Thank you. Do you know, I picked up the deck and I was shuffling and I hadn't asked the question. This is, you know, he's laughing at me now. And this was the card that came out, and then I shuffled and it came out again. That's a lesson for me in trust, right? Faith. Additional card, please, on August. Thank you. Interesting. Additional card. Wow. Yeah. What did I say about Jupiter and Sagittarius and like sudden luck and money? Da, 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 da. Wheel of Fortune. Like if there's one month that you want to buy a lotto ticket or bet, that's it. And that would be September. Thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Boom. All right, so July, the month where we have all the crazy season. Like personally, I'm going to be on some island somewhere. I'm going to go hide away from you all, but it looks like you might be doing a bit of traveling too, Virgo, because we do have the card of world. So you could be traveling overseas, you could be going on a holiday, it could be something to do with business. It's coupled with the card of the scribe. So as I mentioned to you earlier, this deck is not like traditional tarot. So you're not going to see the major arcana represented in the same way. And this is the number 12, right? So it's like, let's say the equivalent of the knight, and it's the Knight of Air, so the Knight of Swords. For me, it's like fast-moving action, okay? Remember I said to you with the astrology, you're going to have the eclipse in Cancer on the 2nd, so that's a new moon. So new moon's all about new, starting something new. And then you've got the one in Capricorn on the 16th. So it's going to be fast-moving energy for you. And I really feel like this has to do with either where you're living and your place, your home of residence. Remember I said it's a very big year for you building foundation. Maybe you're moving interstate, maybe you're moving closer to water, maybe you're thinking about doing it, maybe you're thinking about buying property, setting down roots, maybe you're going to go on a holiday before you do that, maybe you go on the holiday and then you find the opportunity and the money and figure out how you're going to do it. But it's going to be fast, and I feel like July is going to be the month where it all happens for you, right? You're going to close out a cycle and begin something new. The World is not a card that comes up often. And the reason for that is because it's the very last of the major arcana. It is the card that shows completing a cycle or ending a cycle. And it's not strange to see it in this month for you, because as I said, you have that eclipse in the sign of Capricorn, which is in your house of security, worthwhile traits, you know, all about building something, a foundation. So I really feel like for you, it's closing out that cycle so you can begin that area. It's like actually being able to give you the abilities or the funds or the focus so that you can do that. August. Looks like it could be a little bit challenging, okay? We have two opposing energies here. So we've got the Four of Cups and the Knight of Wands. So how I read this is the Four of Cups on its own. It's a very core, raw aspect of the card. Speaks about boredom, complacency, emotional boredom, complacency. But then you've got the Knight of Wands coming here and kind of running away. So I'm going to call it, as I said, and I feel like I'm blushing as I'm actually about to say this, but for some of you, it could feel a little bit lackluster in the bedroom. So I don't know what's going on for you guys out there, but this is kind of one of those signs, because on one hand, you've got this energy that's like kind of player energy, and it kind of speaks of the cad or the person that, you know, wants to have a good time. And then you've got in this hand, it's like emotional unfulfillment. So for some of you, it could speak about having a little bit of stagnation when it comes to your intimate relationships. So if you're watching this now at this part of the year, that could be a bit of a nudge to, at some point in the year, because I think you're so focused on what you're building, Virgo, just to pour the energy back into your intimate relationships, especially if you're partnered. For those that are single, could represent a bit of a dry spell when it comes to August. You could have quite a lot of passion leading up to this month, and then it could just be kind of either you're separated by distance. For some of you, you could meet a partner that's overseas, and then you're literally landlocked or waterlocked. You're away from each other. So that's what's creating this kind of friction. And another way to read this too is speaking about being emotionally unfulfilled about your creative pursuits. So often when I see that we have this kind of huge focus and energy about building something, a foundation, and Saturn's kind of in your sign telling you that it's like time to put down roots, Virgo, time to build something concrete, time to get married, time to, you know, make it, you know, official, time to whatever it is. You're getting older. It's that kind of niggling underlying current, that feeling, that voice, right? I often see this come up just before someone's ready to make a commitment, or just before someone's about to take something a little bit more seriously. It's like that last little bit of nudge, am I doing the right thing? It can also mean when we're putting so much energy into a project and it's not coming off as quickly as we'd like. That's kind of a stagnation feeling that I get to. It's this push-pull of energy. It's like boredom because we're not achieving as fast as we'd like. So then we get a little bit reckless and we want to go out and do something that makes us feel alive again. As you come into as you leave August and you come into September, you come back into that yourself, right? You have this beautiful energy of the King of Earth. So it does represent Capricorn, the King of Earth, but we'll say that it's yourself for the sake of this general reading. But it is coupled with the Wheel of Fortune. So this will be a month for you of good luck when it comes to money. I mean, that's what the entire year is about for you, really. Sudden luck in your area of money, goals, friendship, doors opening through the friendships that you make, networking, that kind of thing. But even more so in this month in particular, because you have, you know, one of the trump cards in terms of the Pentacles, Earth sign, things that are materialistic. And then you have the major arcana, or the trump card of good luck and fortune in the upright too. The last 3 months are, so you've got, you know, this kind of like completing a cycle. You've got money coming in, travel. Looks really, really good, Virgo. And then the last 3 months I see, as you're getting closer to that final Capricorn eclipse for 2019, it's really where you start to dig your heels in and build that foundation. So you have the Four of Pentacles coupled with the Eight of Wands. This is communication about exactly that, about your money. This can speak about being a little bit of a miser, so holding on tightly. And I feel like you're holding on tightly because you're about to make an investment or a move. November sees you with the card of integrity coupled with the Nine of Wands. So this is really working hard. It's like putting in the work to kind of get what you want, to kind of have it all. And this is a card of having it all, okay? It's quite an interesting card because it doesn't exist in traditional tarot, but it speaks about a balance of earth. So she's very much an earthly woman. And then you have two different animals there. So an owl could be quite important to you guys, as what is that, a cheetah? But it's more about the balance of materialism versus something that is long lasting, okay? So this is kind of something to be aware of, Virgo, when it comes to November. Whatever your goodwill or good fortune it is that you win, or whatever it happens for you in September, just be aware of how that energy flows on, okay? Try not to get too caught up in the material of things. And I can't help but notice, because I keep getting drawn to it, but it's almost like there's that tiny little bit of the devil coming through there. So if there's some sort of like way that you spend your money that kind of rears its ugly head again, it could come up for you a little bit in October. December, however, shows the Nine of Pentacles and the Ace of Swords. So this is beautiful. This speaks about, how can I explain it? The Nine of Pentacles is like an abundant card. It's just before coming to the 10, right? And the 10's like you're just sitting pretty completely comfortable in terms of finances. And the Ace of Swords is like a gift from the heaven, the clarity to see how to get there. And this is kind of the theme for the whole year for you, Virgo. It's like you're working on your emotions, you're working on your creative self-expression, you're working on how to tell people when you love them, when you're angry with them, when you want more from them from an employee, whatever it may be. And in doing that, you continue to grow stronger and you become more of yourself. You become the King of Earth, the King of Pentacles, And in doing that, when you're vibing at that kind of level, of course, you're going to attract good fortune, good luck, windfalls, that kind of thing. As you get to December, it's just showing all that hard work that you had to put in these 2 extra months, right? Because you had this wand energy, this creative, lots of like hours type thing. It pays off for you. Okay. What's really cool is that you have the card of the Six of Pentacles as your overarching energy. I love, sixes all represent love. So it kind of made me giggle a little bit when it came out, because I was like, of course, you're going to get that for the final 6 months. 6, 6, are you getting the theme here? But for me, it's really about reciprocity, even give and take. And Virgo, this is what I was saying to you. I felt like for a lot of you, you ended something at the end of last year that wasn't balanced, or that didn't sit right with you, or that wasn't bringing you fulfillment. And now you're really embodying that energy of actually attracting into your life exactly what it is that you want, that makes you happy, that fulfills you. And as you get to the end of 2019, you're going to feel more alive than ever, more grounded than ever, more in your own skin, if that's a way I can explain it. Just like more like, yes, this is who I am. This is what I want. This is what I'm going for. And what's really cool is this represents, 6 is like a card of soulmates for me. It's that real balance, someone that sees you for all you are, warts and all, good and bad, and loves you anyway. And that couldn't be more special. I think that's very beautiful. If those that follow me a lot will know that I like the Ace of Pentacles in a love reading, because it donates the offer of something concrete. It's like, let's actually build a future together. Let's build something and grow something together. The Six of Pentacles, the reverse of the Six of Cups, which speaks about nostalgia and that pure kind of innocent love. This for me is that grounded, let's build a home together. Let's get married. Let's have babies, that kind of thing. And you've got the Wheel of Fortune turning in your favor. Virgo, what a year. I'm almost a little bit jelly. Almost. All right, let's have a look. I'm going to draw for you one oracle card for love. There it is. You get the frickin' sun. Only the best card you could possibly get in the entire deck. As if this reading couldn't be any more awesome. One card for spirituality, please, for Virgos 2019. Thank you. Number 19, repeating message, and you have the Relic of Time. So that's 2 19s. Just putting that out there. Okay. The sun. So beautiful. I'm going to read it for you from the book like I do, so bear with me. The sun, the sun, the sun. Vitality. The sun rises every day as a giving source of energy. It bathes the world in light, radiating clarity. All paths become clear in the light of the day. The sun shines in our outer world, bathing all senses in warm, creative clarity. The image shows the sun's reflection in an ocean gleaming with beautiful jeweled colors of the sunrise. Light bends and plays across the open sky, clouds and waves in a celebration of regeneration and manifestation. The sun presents you with a clear vision. You are, or you will be, experiencing renewed energy. This burst of vitality will mean you feel better than you have for a long time. If you've been ill, the worst is behind you and full recovery is near. Effort will be rewarded. This card signifies financial gain or recognition for study, hard work, or sheer determination. On an inner level, you are taking a great leap towards your dreams and your desires. Resistance is melting away as you realize all things are possible. Celebrate your successes. Revel in the warmth and joy of knowing even better times lie ahead. Wow, Virgo, I told you, pretty freaking amazing. And that's in terms of love. Right, and then for spirituality, number 19, the Relic of Time. So this guidebook, I've been drawn to a lot of Native American stuff. One of my guides is a Native American healer. And so I've been drawn to a lot of mandalas, and this speaks about the Relic of Time, so number 19, patience and history repeating. The Relic of Time mandala holds a portal of healing guidance. Once you enter this portal, time does not exist, and you may access alternative dimensions where your soul is experiencing and playing out many, many lifetimes. A situation you are currently experiencing stems directly from another lifetime. This could be your karmic thing that you need to let go of, Virgo. This soul fragment has presented itself to you to be healed and to be loved. It is in your best interest to heal this aspect of yourself, so see this as a beautiful opportunity to embrace a part of you that you were never able to before. Oh, Virgo. Once embraced, your soul will receive the fragment into itself so that it may become whole again. This mandala allows you to energetically travel to other lifetimes. This ability may be assessed when you hold the pure intention to understand lessons and integrate realizations found at a much deeper level. Okay, so let me translate that for you. Basically, it's asking whatever it is that you haven't let go of, as I told you, that karmic kind of thing that you're still holding on to. And I think it's kind of almost like an inner thing that you judge yourself. Like, you are a little bit judgy, Virgo. You strive for perfection in everything that you do, but you're your own worst critic. You're the hardest on yourself. And I feel like there's something that you need to let go of. And if I'm honest, it relates back to being careful not to suppress your emotions. So if you need to tell someone how you feel, if you need to get something off your chest, then this is the invitation to do so, because it's going to heal a wound for you that you've carried on from past lifetimes. All right, Virgo, that was your incredible reading for 2019. I hope you found it helpful. If you did, please hit the like button. If you would like me to do a full 2019 in-depth reading for you personally, based on your year ahead, I am available for personal readings. You can find all the details below in the description bar below. Otherwise, I hope to see you next week when I do the weekly updates. Take care.